I'm in possession of a medical report from Morago Hospital here, made by senior consultants, 5 senior consultants.
He's got 5 chronic health challenges.
You're watching Mordecai Marissa Live Political Commentary. Please consider subscribing to help grow Uganda's Voices of Struggle ecosystem. Thank you.
I cannot appreciate you enough for using your valuable time to always go on social media, break down things for people.
Ladies and gentlemen, probably if you've not seen this and if Mordecai Marissa is your only source of information, probably I should be saying breaking news. I'm going to say that one more time. Breaking news, ladies and gentlemen. It's unbelievable. Former Kampala Lord Mayor Erias Lukwago appeared before court looking visibly frail and delivered an emotional plea that has sent shockwaves across Uganda. Speaking via Zoom from Luzira Maximum Prison, Lukwago pleaded for his life, saying he urgently needs specialized treatment abroad, India to be specific. I'm quoting him verbatim here. He said, "I need to be in India now if my life is to be saved." It was this desperate cry from one of Uganda's prominent opposition figures who was abducted on the orders of the commander of Uganda's defense forces. He ordered his jack-booted thugs who went to Erias Lukwago's home in Wakarigalubaga division, abducted him. Then he was taken to a torture dungeon. Mohoz Kenerugaba refers to it as basement, where he was undressed, tortured, has his photos taken, naked photos taken, before he was transferred to Luzira Maximum Prison. That in and of itself is the height of the violation of people's rights, because they don't understand. Maybe they do, but they do not respect the concept called due process. It is extremely heartbreaking. His emotional appeal has reignited this debate over the treatment of political opponents and whether Uganda's justice system is protecting or punishing its critics. Now, that's the question or conversation you're going to hear in countries like Kenya or probably other countries that do not understand the dictatorship of Museveni. But in Uganda, we know for sure. You have Bobi Wine forced into exile. You have Kizza Besigye abducted from Kenya, is kept in prison. Then you have Erias Lukwago abducted from his home, is being kept in prison. Kizza Besigye's lawyer, Martha Karua from Kenya, denied entry into Uganda. And then you have Bobi Wine's friends, the likes of Eddie Sebufu, famously known as Eddie Mutwe, Alex Waiswa Mufumbiro, and other foot soldiers rotting in prison. Many of them were arrested during 2020-2021 elections. So there's nothing like a treating fairly the opposition folks. It is unbelievable. It is heartbreaking. But I'll try to explain why this is happening. But ladies and gentlemen, while one courtroom was gripped by a humanitarian plea from Erias Lukwago, another was dealing with one of the country's biggest corruption scandals. Parliament's Director of Communication and Public Affairs, Chris Obore Ariko, together with his co-accused, was once again remanded until July 2026 on the 27th, after returning to court to face corruption-related charges, including embezzlement, money laundering, and causing a financial loss involving over 37 billion shillings. Yes, 37 billion with a B shillings. They deny the allegations and the case remains before court. So you have 2 courtrooms, 2 different cases, one involving a desperate flee for survival and another, a multi-billion shilling corruption prosecution. It is unbelievable. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to be showing you. This is some of the episodes I usually say, welcome to hell. Let me go on and show you. This has been covered by BBS Telefina. Take a look at this, ladies and gentlemen. This is Erias Lukwago pleading.
Yes, Honorable.
Yes, Your Worship.
Please address court on the health concerns that your counsel just informed court.
Thank you, Your Worship. I'm in possession of a medical report from Mulago Hospital here, made by senior consultants, 5 senior consultants. These consultants include the senior consultant on orthopedics and spine surgeon,
The senior
team leader
consultant,
Norbert Ogoth,
I beg your pardon, senior consultant of orthopedic,
and the spine surgeon, Dr. Norbert Ogoth. I have senior consultant physician, a cardiologist, Michael Mumoma. I have a neurologist, senior consultant physician, Stephen Matovu. I have also, there is also a consultant neurosurgeon, Joel Chiyawiri, and associate consultant orthopedic and spine surgeon, Dr. Edward Chionde. These are senior medical consultants who were tasked by the Executive Director, Mulago Hospital, Dr. Rosemary Vianima, to examine my state of health. I spent a whole week in Mulago undergoing specialized investigation and some interventions that could be made within the capacity of Mulago Hospital. Your Worship, it's a detailed report which is on record of court, because I can see court received it on 1st July. It's addressed to the Chief Magistrate. It's dated 30th June 2026. There is a forwarding letter.
I think I had a clip here that actually goes straight to the point. I think it was right here. Where did I see it? Yeah, it's right here. Watch here. He's got 5 chronic health challenges.
5 chronic health challenges, which are very, very serious.
As we speak today, my life is in danger. Unbelievable.
In my humble submission, nothing limits your power here.
Yeah, that's his lawyer, Medad Lubega Segona. I think I had a better. Let's go ahead.
By the executive sedatives, I've reached a point, Your Worship, where these sedatives can no longer work. These authorities, because they feared for security reasons that it has some gadgets inside, tore it and removed some parts, so it got dismantled. Up to now, I am not using it. It was brought here, but it's dysfunctional because it had been dismantled. I've been struggling with the prison authorities to see that my relatives reach out to the experts who worked on it to see if it can be repaired, but it's a tug of war. Have not been successful, Your Worship. So up to now, the Tinta spill is not with me. It's in the office of the OCCI, Office of Prisons.
I mean, you get here. We might not go into detail. This is a longer video, I think, more than 1 hour. You understand the point here. You get it. Now, I don't want to convince you that Museveni doesn't know what he's doing. He 100% knows. Like Winnie Byanyima told us, he's paranoid. But there's a few extremely toxic elements that have engulfed his entire being. And this is who he's been from when he was a kid. That's why I usually say I feel sorry for the man. He's a sadist. But not only a sadist, he's a cynical, he's a cynic and a skeptical. But not only that, he has reached the evening of his life and is realizing that all the bloodshedding, all the abductions, all the disappearances, all of that means totally nothing. Zero. Now, you might, if you want to become president, to realize it means nothing because in the end, you're going to die. Try to pursue that goal. And it becomes extremely worse if all you have done in this world has been enriching yourself and prioritizing yourself at the expense of the people whom you've manipulated into believing that you're some sort of a patriot, a selfless leader. He's doing this by design. Do not fall in the trap of Museveni. He's a nihilist. He's a sadist. Do not fall into the trap of getting triggered and giving him what he wants. Like I've always argued, in a war against monsters, you want to make sure you don't become a monster yourself. We cannot give Museveni anger. We can give him righteous anger, but not necessarily an anger that is going to cause us to become Museveni. Get on your knees. Pray if you believe in prayer. Strategize. Mobilize. Let's continue agitating. I want to assure you, ladies and gentlemen, the Museveni criminal regime will fall, and it is going to fall very soon than later. As you witness all of these things, Museveni is psychologically torturing these people. I don't care whether Erias Lukwago is actually granted bail. The damage has already been done. He wanted to prove a point. He wanted to send a message, to instill fear and continue to show that he's got control over institutions of Uganda. He's done it. So do not be manipulated into when he's granted bail. Be like, okay, now Museveni looked at him and, he felt mercy was gracious. Zero. He has no grace. But do not become him. We come back to that. But let's go to Chris Obode. I'll read a few lines here. This is coming in from The Observer. It says, corruption at Parliament. Chris Obode further remanded till July 27. 7 senior parliamentary staff members suspected of embezzlement of money laundering and causing financial loss amounting more than 37 billion shillings have been remanded further until July 27, 2026. They include Parliamentary Director of Communications and Public Affairs, Chris Obode Ariko, accused of embezzling 5.253 billion shillings. Daniel Adiro, Parliament Director of Human Resource, accused of embezzling 14.609 billion shillings. Then you have Leonard Okema, Executive Secretary in the Office of the Speaker, accused of embezzling 3.489 billion shillings. Raja Bukaya Semalulu, Principal Research Officer, accused of embezzling 2.170 billion shillings. Then you have Emmanuel Okwi Emuron, Principal Protocol Officer, embezzled 1.105 billion shillings. And then you have Vincent Otebata, Capacity Development Officer, 253 billion shillings. Now there's something here you want to see, a pattern here. Look at those names, and ladies and gentlemen, and try to understand how this habit of sectarianism of nepotism, of tribalism is gonna kill completely our country. Pay attention to those names. You have from down up, Otebata, Okwi, then you jump Semalulu. You go to Otebata, Okwi, Okema, Adiro, Obore. I can guarantee you, these are most likely folks from the same tribe. When they were still, they were like, as long as we are, what are they? Eaters, I don't care. Look, I'm a Munyankore, but it means really nothing. I'm a human being before I become a Munyankore. You see, these people are not able to report each other because be like, we are in these things. Sad. I'm going to have to show you here. What's his name? Chris Obode. Before I do that, let me show you here. This is Erias Lukwago said, I know all of us will die, but I wouldn't want to have a painful death as being designed by the regime. Wow. People are pleading and crying. It's unbelievable. Okay, I want to show you this guy, Chris Obole is right here. These people, when they're stealing, they have all their faces. They're interviewed on radios and TVs when they're serving and, stealing from the government. The moment they're caught red-handed, that's when they remember mask, cover their face. What a lot of shameless people. It's unbelievable. Ladies and gentlemen, before I forget, read here. We must accept the finite disappointment, but never lose the infinite hope. Words of Martin Luther King Jr. Every time I'm broadcasting to you these commentaries, I'm usually looking at it. It reminds me of never losing that hope. It is upon this hope that I'm able to agitate, that I'm able to mobilize, that I'm able to continue speaking against the lawlessness and impunity of Museveni, because I believe change is coming to Uganda. Do not lose hope, despite of what you see. Folks from Europe have always told us, it is always darkest before dawn. We are in the darkest moment. In the words of Gregory Mugisha Muntu Oyera, retired Major General, he said, we are in a rotting state. But there's something that comes after the dark stage, the rotting stage. This metamorphosis is heading us to victory, where we shall look back at these dark ages and say, never again shall we go back to a type of leadership that doesn't care about innocent people, that looks at its political opponents as enemies and traitors, and that is Museveni. Lastly, before I let you go, I want to understand the kind of man we are dealing with. This is a sadistic, self-serving sociopath, Museveni. This was after the military had assaulted Bobi Wine, a member of parliament then. Listen to what Museveni said.
The other day, there was a fracas in West Nile where our young friend Bobi Wine was tried to fight with security people. I think they beat him a bit. And then they came and said, member of parliament was beaten. Well, I said, okay, let me study how he was beaten. Now, when I studied, I found the man had been beaten properly in the right way.
This is a sick man. This is a disgusting, sick man. And I'm not using these terms again. I'm going to say it again. I don't use those terms to malign him. These are not pejoratives I'm throwing around. Absolutely not. No man looks at another man tortured and be like, they've actually assaulted him so well. I saw him bruised. I saw him crying. I think they beat him really, really well. That is sick to the core. I don't care about folks in the NRM, National Robbers Movement, who worship at his feet, who venerate him as this elder, smart, wise man. I don't care. Many of them do that as a result of them picking crumbs off his table. Many of them are desperate with getting proximity to power and accumulation of wealth. 99%, if not 100%, because there's no reasonable human being that's going to look at this man gloating in the torturing of a member of parliament and says, oh, that's the guy I want to vote. Unless you're either stupid, extremely sadly ignorant, or both. There's something wrong with you. Now, I'm not saying settle for Bobby Wine. I'm not saying settle for Mugisha Muntu. I'm not saying settle for Chiza Besigye. You can decide to settle for Katumba Oye. But there's no way you're going to choose this man, this sick man, sick from drinking too much, from power. It's sad. Let me know what you think, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to go on and follow updates coming in from Uganda. Guess the time in the US. We decided not to sleep. We shall sleep when we're dead. Let's save our country first, okay? So consider subscribing, write in the comment section. Let me know what you think, please, okay? Bye-bye for now.